Welcome aboard, passengers. Mega Sim here, and guess what? This is the third video of today. You've seen the Long Island Railroad. We did the horse racing Belmont Park. We then did Southeastern High Speed with the Class 375 because I wanted to do something, and that was actually became an unexpected gem because we got to go through that train wash. So yeah, if you haven't watched it yet, go back and look at that. That's a really good video. But news article has been released, and it is Arosa Linie Rivet interview. So the upcoming Swiss route. So what we're going to do is we're looking at the images that we have got so far from last week's announcement, to also the photos, images that we've received in this news article. As always, check out the link in the description below to follow along if you want to, or read it yourself and access the images as well. So 41 bridges, 19 tunnels, steep gradients and breathtaking scenery. Arosa Linie provides an exciting experience for rail fans. So Tim, Laura and Jasper from Rivet Games, there's going to be question and answers to them about their work on this route and bringing the first Swiss journey to Train Sim World 2. So Tim is Tim Gatland, been involved in train simulation for 15 years, started work with the original rail simulator back in 2005. And then in 2019, he started working for Rivet Games, a third-party developer making add-on content for Train Sim Emulator and Train Sim World. Laura is a producer at Rivet Games. She's worked with Dovetail Games and then moved over to Rivet Games when they set up the company. So she leads the art and route building teams and works with the trackers, signaling and loco. And finally, Jasper, the community manager for Rivet Games, and joined the team in March last year. His job is to look after the community in both English and German. So Rivet is well known for Swiss routes already on Train Simulator. So the question was, where has the interest for Swiss railways and the RHB come from? So Tim has said that what they really like about Switzerland, besides it being such a beautiful place, is it has fantastic train heritage. Many of its trains are well known, and people travel from all over the world to see Gotthardbahn, Bernina, and ride the Glacier Express. Apologies for the pronunciations here, just in case I'm getting them wrong. We've had great partners there, and our friends at SBB, Thurbo and RHB have been particularly helpful. Switzerland has a great range of material, both standard and narrow gauge, plus many different types of environment. So what was the most appealing to them about creating Arosa Linie as the first Swiss route for Train Sim World? Well, Laura answers this. It says that it was in a manageable length. It's their second route on Train Sim World and the very Swiss route for that game. So they didn't want to bite off more than they could chew. However, they still wanted to create something that was an interesting driving experience for players. There are extreme differences in gradient along the route, and in fact, it's narrow gauge, which makes it pretty unique for players and something new for Train Sim World. Now, I'm going to mention some things at the end. I've got some thoughts. I'll mention them at the end, just in case it's answered here. What is unique about the Arosa Linie? Laura says the most unique part of her street running area is her street running area. Her or her, I think it's her, isn't it? The fact that the train runs down the street and the traffic is driving along beside you, you're really close to the buildings. I don't think there is anything that's been tackled like that in Train Sim World yet, so it will be a very new experience for players. Well, we did get the moving railway crossings, but no cars on there. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing what Rivet are going to do with that. So how have they made the move from Train Simulator to Train Sim World? Well, Tim said, although Thomson Interactive had already made the route for Train Simulator, they had to start with a pretty blank canvas for Train Sim World. Most things they had to build from scratch, although there were a few things they could bring over. So in cooperation with Thomson Interactive, they took some of the Train Simulator framework models into Train Sim World. During the development, they encountered quite a lot of new challenges, but also discovered some great features in Train Sim World that weren't possible in Train Simulator. So they think players will find lots of new things to like. So what's the process like for bringing the first narrow gauge railway onto Train Sim World? Well, Tim says that they did encounter a lot of interesting challenges. Not only did they need to create meter gauge track and junctions, but also had to create Swiss signalling. One of the other challenges is the gradients on the line. They're very significant, so they have fun there. Although Switzerland has two different types of signalling, they only needed to implement the L type for this route. But even that required building a new set of signalling assets and getting the associated signalling logic working in Train Sim World. One of the big differences compared with British signalling is that Swiss signals also determine the speed limits, whereas in the UK that's not the case. They did know that their first Swiss and narrow gauge route would require a huge amount of extra work, but surprisingly, the Train World tech accommodated this without too much trouble. So with so many viaducts, tunnels, heavy gradients and large mountains on the line, how did they overcome it? Well, Laura said that the team have spent a great deal of time modelling and texturing bespoke viaducts, tunnels and large granite-style rocks to fit to the track and terrain. Because they were able to use some of the models from Thompson's interactive train simulator version of Arosa as a starting point, they developed a technique for getting the geometry from Train Simulator and putting it into Train Sim World, aligning it with the track and getting everything to fit properly. Although these existing models were a good jumping off point in some areas, even with them there was still a lot of retexturing and reworking of models. In many cases they had to start from scratch. So the series of tunnels and galleries beyond the Her street running zone is one area that needed a lot of extra attention. Because the super elevation on the track was significantly different to Train Simulator, they had to remodel the tunnel profile and some of the galleries. So she thinks the artists have done a real good job at recreating the overall look of the area. It looks amazing. So this environment will be new to many players. What can they expect in the way of gameplay challenge? Well, Jasper said, one key thing is that with RHB often attach freight wagons to their passenger trains, which is quite unusual in other territories. Also, the density of the service mode is really interesting because we don't just have the different train types and regional service which stops at every station. We also have a fast regional express which only stops at a few stations. Then of course you have to run round the locomotive at either end of the route. Plus you'll experience the steep gradients. It's quite a challenge to drive those and keep to the speed limits. So what are you most excited about for players to experience on this route? Well, Jasper said not only the beauty of Switzerland, but having the first narrow gauge route with a really interesting choice of the locomotive and the street running bit as well, which is very well done. Laura, she agrees with Jasper. Beautiful scenery. The art team have done a really good job of recreating it and an immersive experience for the player. And the one exciting new feature is the signal guard boxes on the platforms. The players will find these fun and interesting. And Tim, we also tried to make the Hur area feel alive with people, with traffic moving around the trains. I'm also very excited about the train in the route. Train Sim World allows for greater modelling detail than Train Simulator, and modern shaders make for the breathtaking end result. So, what's your favourite RHB locomotive and route and why? Well, Laura said her favourite route is the Surselva line. She loves travelling through the Rhine Gorge, looking at the totally unique limestone rocks. And when they were working on that route in Train Simulator, it was totally new, as the rocks we had previously worked on were granite style rocks, which are in Arosa. But these limestone rocks were something else, really unique, really fun to work on. And she said that her favourite locomotive is the Allegra. Jasper, favourite locomotive is this one, the GE4/4 second -2. I'm not sure what you would call that. It is included in Arosa because he loves the overall look of the loco. It looks timeless. Favourite route? Definitely Arosa. Played it in Train Simulator, and it was his introduction to the world of train simulation. And finally, Tim, always interested in what is new, so he'd have to pick the Capricorn as his locomotive. They don't have any plans yet to make this, as there are only currently a few that are operational, but it feels like the future. So in terms of route, there is so much to choose from in Switzerland, but he has to pick the Bernina line or Bernina line as his favourite. When they decided to make it in Train Simulator, he did a line survey for the route and had many adventures, including, rather bizarrely, an encounter with a venomous snake, which he didn't realise was present in that part of Switzerland. He loves the way the line climbs up on the mountain, and the spiral viaduct of Brusio is marvellous. Plus looking over the glaciers and ski resorts is just fantastic. So we know that the Arosa Linie is coming soon to Train Sim World 2. No date yet and no price yet. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Some thoughts that I do have, which weren't mentioned in here. First of all, narrow gauge. Will off the rails work? What do you think? Will off the rails work with bigger trains, or will it not? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Because it's narrow gauge, will the 465 work on this? Will the AC 4400 work on this route? It'd be good to know. It'd be good to see that happening. Another thing was the signal box. So when you leave the station, you have to walk to the back of the train where the guard usually stands to press a button on a box on a post. Do you think they're going to make that automated, or do you have to keep going out and pressing that button every time. No, you could just either plug in a keyboard and press number 3 twice to go to the back of the train, or press the joystick, the right joystick once, and then press and hold it to get to the back of the the train to press the button. Or will there be something automatic, maybe pressing and holding circle? I'm not sure what the keyboard action is for it. To request the signaler. So yeah, not sure. So hopefully we'll find out about that soon. It's good that we're going to have freight, so we're definitely having freight. Will we have just freight, or will it be freight and passenger? Not sure, but those screenshots that we've got from last week and also this week does show a few things. So just looking back at them, I know they're flicking through right now, but I'm looking at them now. So we've got a passenger route just going out of Hur there, just the passenger on the next one. We're on the train, just looking at it going down the hill. The snowy one, again, just cars. And then also the Lewin Castiel. You can just see the passenger route only. But yeah, we do get to see the freight version on the images from last week. So we know definitely we're going to get that, which is good. We're going to get freight and we're going to get that. And as he said already in this news article, in this interview, that we are going to get a mixture of stop-start trains and express trains going through. So I would like to see that. How are they going to do the express trains? Do they go onto a different line and zoom past all the others, or is it timed to be like express, then stop and start, express, because so it doesn't catch up with each other? Not sure. Well, I am looking forward to it. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. What do you think of the Arosa Linie? Are you looking forward to seeing the Arosa Linie coming to Train Sim World? Have you played this? Have you driven this route on Train Simulator? What do you think? Do you think it's going to be good coming over to Train Sim World? I'm not saying choose another route, but I'm saying if you've played it, if you've driven it on Train Simulator, do you think that was a good route, good choice to bring over Train Sim World? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Third video of the day, bonus! So yeah, don't forget to subscribe for more videos from Mega Sim, and social media links are in the description below. We will see you on the next video. We've got a nice weekend to look forward to, and I just want to mention it. We have got the weekend, and it is entitled Jolly Boys Outing Weekend. Have a think. You'll find out tomorrow what we're going to be doing. Anyway, have a great evening, great day. See you on the next video. This is Mega Sim out of here. See you later, guys. Bye.